Oh boy. Okay. All right. We're back. We are attempting this again. If my computer explodes, which it might, it freaking might. If it explodes, then I'll be back, but I'll be back in a slightly lower tech way. It's just that Texas is a hot place. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, so we just got through watching this crazy movie. It was really good. Really good. Woof. What does that say? Oh, it's Tech Consultant, aka CA's other account. If you guys know who I'm talking about. Anyway, but yeah. Hey, it's Black Sheep. So yeah, we just saw this crazy movie. What did you guys think? Tell me. Let me know. Go ahead. Everybody.
I thought it was
called what? It's called what?
Apostasy.
Yeah, it's called Apostasy. Which is what we do.
I thought it was very moving. Thing. Especially at I don't know if what we're talking about, if there's going to be spoilers or it was very.
Oh yeah, there are definitely going to be spoilers.
Yeah, but spoilers are stories rather than as scene synopsis. How they made us.
I added spoilers to the title of the stream, so everybody knows there's going to be some spoilers. There will be spoilers. If you're watching right now, just know that going forward there will be spoilers to the movie, only because yeah, we're just going to talk about that. If you want to, Laura, you can be vague. If not, you don't have to be vague. You can totally spoil the crap out of it. But just warning everybody now, spoilers. Okay.
I have my whiteboard, so we're good.
Oh yeah, I brought the whiteboard.
I've unleashed the whiteboard. Unleashed it. So we're good. We're ready.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Ash?
Maybe. There's going to be spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
But does it really spoil it? I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think.
Like I said, I thought it was very moving. I thought that the part, I was not expecting the twist in the middle. I don't know if it's really a twist for a lot of people. Like some people might have seen it coming, but I saw when the sister. Well, I guess maybe we should start off talking about with what it's about first, with where it was going.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
You want me to? Okay.
Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, I've got the evening wear. Okay, I can do this. The idea was I presume it was a single mother with two daughters, and they all lived together in scriptural paradise until one went to college. And you know how the worse the university, the better the university, the higher the danger. So that was already a no-no. And the younger one was already marked as a bit weird because as a baby, the court forced a blood transfusion upon her against her mother's wishes. And so ever since she'd felt a sense of difference and shame around that. So that was a major spoiler. But that's an important part of this.
That becomes a really big thing later in the movie. They kind of mentioned it at the beginning, and you just kind of think it's like a background thing. So I was not expecting it to come back up later. But yeah. When her sister gets pregnant, and the way that they treat her, she's pregnant with a worldly guy, from a worldly guy, and just how the mother reacts not helpful at all, really. Just, you have to marry him and bring him to the meetings. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Goodness, have I heard that before?
And from that point on, I was just like, oh my God, that's so ridiculous.
And it's about, as we were discussing before we went on air, weren't we, Laura, about how it's about their status. That mother's status in the congregation is under threat. She's already a very low status anyway, and she doesn't want to lose any more. She's trying to claw
Right.
And so the younger daughter is going to marry. She's going to marry him off to an elder. He's either a minister or so. And he's probably an elder because he's in the judicial committee. So there's a young elder that's going to marry him off. He wants to be circuit overseer. And then through her daughter, she will live. She will get the status in the congregation that her arrogance says that she deserves. And it's this woman's arrogance that she is absolutely right, against all medical opinion, that is a thread through this film. Until the end, she will not drop that point.
I just felt sorry for all of them, like including the mom. Like she was like, I don't know. You don't know why she's in, like what.
Yeah, I mean, there was some sympathy for me, but
you, like, look at her and be like, okay, she's making all these decisions for her children, and she only cares about herself. But honestly, like, you have no idea what her background is and how much abuse she sustained that's contributing to her worldview and her decisions. And it's once the movie gets going, and like you said, she tries to basically like introduces her to this young elder, her one daughter. The other one is pregnant from someone outside the congregation, outside the Jehovah's Witnesses, and she, already a tough situation, and then, ends up being told that she has to shun her, and because she's unrepentant. And it's very, very sad in places. I cried several times.
Yeah, I know I definitely cried. I cried. It was oh my goodness. It was rough because like it hit a lot of really personal stuff for me. Like just a lot of the subjects that were covered were personal to me. The unwed mother thing, the blood doctrine thing, all of that crap. It was all just it was horrible. Like I cried like a baby. It was rough. I can't imagine anybody watching this who was a Jehovah's Witness, not being affected greatly by this. Actually, what do you guys think?
And I'm back.
He's back. You should ask the question again.
Hello.
Oh, well, I was just talking about how I think that anybody who was a Jehovah's Witness at any point in their lives would be greatly affected by watching this. What do you think?
I agree, because, I was, as I was saying earlier, I was getting two levels of experience for me. Because it was my own recollections of some of those moments, but also I was really struck by chords that matched up with your experience. So I was thinking, wow, this must be really affecting my friend. And it was an insight into your life a bit as well. So I was getting a double hit from this thing. It was a very moving film. It really was. It me to tears. But I'm an old softie, so.
Yeah, it was really hard to watch, man. Like, especially certain parts. Just depending on what your experience was. But even if you didn't experience everything in the film, it's still like, ugh. It crushes your soul a little bit.
It's the spirit, the atmosphere that caught in the Kingdom Hall. This sort of stiltified, ossifying atmosphere. And the Kingdom Hall never changes, does it? Good or bad, it never ever changes. It's the same procedure, the same architecture, the same talks. everything's the same. It's archaic. It's crumbling, and there's this pool of death and death of, you know what I mean? And I think it really up. You never get any.
Go ahead.
I'm done. So
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Laura.
I was going to agree. For me, like, the Kingdom Hall I went to was like, that was the only thing that I didn't really identify with, was because the Kingdom Hall I went to wasn't like, it was a little bit more loose. Like, I don't know, and maybe that was like the atmosphere seemed different in the movie than what I was raised in. But at the same time, I felt you still feel it. You feel that way, but like, there was a lot of younger people in the hall, and a lot of them got in trouble. And but like, it was more of an open and liberal congregation than what I hear from a lot of people. So I know my experience isn't necessarily like the most, what most people deal with, but that was the only thing that I'd say that I didn't identify with the movie. The rest of it was definitely the thing I probably identified most with, was the situation with the mom, especially when the mom, like I was telling you, when she tried to run away with her daughter's child, because I had that happen kind of with me, when I had my divorce, and my ex, when she had the children, she, next thing I knew, she was with my mom with the children, who my mom does not speak to me at all. And I've always had this policy that, if you don't have a relationship with me, you're not going to have a relationship with my children, because that's just weird. My children aren't going to understand that, and that I don't want you taking them to the Kingdom Hall. And that's exactly what this woman in the movie tries to do. I'll take the baby. I'll take her to the Kingdom Hall.
Yeah, and
we don't
chilling thing. Save her.
Yeah, right.
Save the baby. I will save her. You're dead. You're already rotting on the ground. And in a couple of 100 years, you won't even remember this shit. It's all good. But this baby, I might better save it. And just the horror of that God, when they don't even think about it, they just imagine themselves as worms that need to grovel at some God who's capricious. And 1 minute he'll save your kid, next minute, he won't. You don't even know what's going to happen. Leave it in his hands. Sometimes you get a great result. It's Jehovah's hand. Everyone applauds and everyone thinks it's great. But most of the time, he's not there. So you've got a deadbeat dad as their figurehead, as their acme of perfection. Someone who has to be cajoled into being nice. He's a very medieval God. Very medieval. If you look at the history of how God was placated and supplicated and groveled to over the history of man, that's how they are. They're at that level. Oh, very, very chilling.
Oh, that, yeah. Long history. Good. Like, it's the Jehovah's Witnesses continue that.
Marlene is in the chat with us, and she says, felt terribly sorry for the mom. She was devoted and desperate.
Yeah, and did you know?
Yeah, at the end, it's like she's desperate, and it's like when they do the marking talk, it's like she snaps. Like, you can see she leaves. She can't stand to listen to it. She goes and not supposed to do, goes and sees her disfellowship daughter, but still then like, she can't trust anyone, and you can see it like she's just gone at the end. And it's a very sad ending to all of it.
Yeah, because in the bank of Jehovah's Witnesses, she had a big credit because her child died faithful to Jehovah. So she expected to have a nice big credit in her Jehovah's Witness bank account, as it were, of credibility, of status. But that was gone with this wayward daughter of hers who manages to get herself pregnant, typical, you know. And so there's this war. She's already got cognitive dissonance in her head. Just, you get that. Everyone gets that, you know. And she's got the further cognitive dissonance of perception of herself and her status and what it actually is. And that's what sends her out. It's nothing to do with her daughter. It's about, I think I'm up here in spirituality and I'm actually fucking down here. And that's what drives her out of that kingdom hall. It's about her.
I look at her, the face, you know, this like expressionless face constantly, and she's just worn. Like from the beginning of the movie, you can tell she's already worn out. Like she's not a feeling person anymore.
Yeah, she reminded me of my grandma a lot.
She reminded me of my mom.
It was very sad, yes.
What about you, Rick? Did she remind you of anybody? Oh, I guess Rick died. Okay. He died, as usual. It's okay. He's having some issues today, folks. Don't worry about that. Anyway, what were you saying?
Oh, I was done.
Laura?
Rick was talking. I was saying, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Laura.
Okay. God, I forgot the last thing you said. Her mom, and yeah, like she reminded me of my mom. Like, just I know that my mom came into the truth, or oh my God, came into the Jehovah's Witnesses by she had gone through a couple miscarriages, and
it's okay. I feel the same way every time I call it the truth. But you and I both know what we mean when we say the truth. We both mean that with quotation marks around it.
It's not the truth. The false. But yeah. She did. The mom in there reminded me a lot of my mom. The whole situation with her and her daughter that died because she doesn't accept a blood transfusion. Reminded me of everything I heard about your mom and your grandma.
Marlene says, I felt sorry for Alex because she was torn the most, I think. Louisa decided she was done with it. So, although I felt sorry for her, she became empowered.
I have to look at the chat. Can you read it again?
Can I read it again? Yeah. I felt sorry for Alex because she was torn the most, I think. Louisa decided she was done with it. So, although I felt sorry for her, she became empowered.
Yeah, right. Yes, she did. At the end, she was empowered. She, I mean, she had gone through a lot, and the thing is that you didn't see. It's called Apostasy, and you didn't really see that story very much. You saw more, you know, Alex's story. In fact, I can't remember. Couldn't even remember her sister's name now. But
Louisa.
What is it?
Wasn't one of the guys was called Alex, wasn't she?
Yeah, right.
Louisa.
Yeah, you saw more instead of Louisa's story. And but at the end, you could tell that a lot had gone through Louisa's mind, even despite everything that she had gone through. She figured it all out, and she was done. So
This is what I thought about the mum. I've nicked this from Pink Floyd, so Roger Waters, do not sue me, please. That was the choice the mum had.
No, they said a lead role in a cage, not a minor role in a gilded cage.
I know, but she doesn't even get a lead role. She gets a minor part. That's the choice she's got. That's how shit her choice is.
Jeez. By the way, since it has been a while since, I've done anything on my channel at all, I just wanted to ask, since we're on some dark subjects here, let's have a little light moment here, a little light breather. How is everybody doing? Is everybody doing well?
You go first.
Okay, that's good. That's a good response.
I mean, I'm working a lot, but
working is good. And Rick, how about you? You're also working. That's good too. Oh, fantastic.
Educating young people.
What? You hate young people?
No, I educate.
Oh, I thought you said you're hating young people. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, whoa, yeah. No,
that's who we're trying to save here in the whole
educating.
Yeah, hold on now.
Tutoring.
And Marlene says she's doing all right, so that's fantastic to hear too. But fortunately, I've gotten to hang out with Marlene kind of recently, although we need to hang out again. Totally. Anyway, woof, man, that movie was heavy. That was a gosh, I don't even. Oh, folks. I don't even know where to begin with that movie. That movie was it was a lot to digest. It was very moving. I mean, if you've ever been a witness, especially if you've been a witness who's dealt with the topic of the blood doctrine, specifically in your family, in your life, it's gonna get you. It's gonna screw with you a little bit. Also, if you're a witness who's dealt with the teen pregnancy thing, and I'm goodness, if you're an ex-witness, excuse me. But I'm one of those people that has had both of those lovely things in my life. I mean, I got to be a young parent, and I mean, a lot of us know how that goes, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I even remember, like, after I left, after I faded away, even though I really wasn't baptized or anything, I remember trying to keep my kids, like, protected from that stuff. And I remember my grandmother coming over and bringing, like, literature and, like, little videos and stuff that she burned, JW videos that she burned for my kids. Like, here you go. Become Jehovah's friend or whatever. And I was like, oh no. And she tried to slip it in, like, amongst a bunch of other stuff, like just random other things that she would bring, groceries, little treats, little toys for the kids, whatever. And she just slipped that in there at the bottom. And I'm like, yeah, no, if this is what you like, if I have to accept this in addition to the other stuff, then you can take it all. It's cool. And yeah, she would get offended, and then she would try to come over and, like, we would go to the pool with my kids because there was a pool in my apartment complex, and we would go swimming and whatever, and she would, like, go off to a corner of the pool where I couldn't hear, out of earshot, and she'd be telling my kid about paradise and shit. I'd swim up and be like, hey, break it up. Like, what the heck? Like, so I totally understand when the mom in there was like, Leanne will have no part of that. Like, yeah, right on. I totally get that. Like, that's me too. That was me. I was like, no, my kids are not going to hear about that nonsense. I don't want them to know about that. That's not fair to them. They're kids. They have no, they're not ready yet to hear about that kind of stuff. So, Anyway, so yeah, those parts struck me. And then of course the blood doctrine part. As you know, if you're somebody who's been on my channel before, you know that my mom died of the blood doctrine. Like, it's a disease. Well, it is kind of a disease. But yeah. She died from that, and that's because my grandmother actually made that choice for her. Not even my mother herself specifically got to make that final choice for herself. She kept going back and forth, but that's a whole other story. I can explain that another time, or you can go look through my videos. There's plenty of times where I've explained it before. But in the end, it was my grandmother who did ultimately make the choice for her. And I remember what it was like at the funeral. And I remember what it was like after the funeral, you know, with sisters and brothers coming up to me trying to hug me and like, oh, you should come back to Jehovah. And all that. I'm like, oh, yes, I should come back to Jehovah, shouldn't I? Yeah. They get you at your most vulnerable time emotionally.
They're looking for that vulnerable time. And yeah, I was thinking about you the whole time during that.
Yeah, it was rough. That whole thing, listening to the funeral was rough. I was like, I can't listen to this shit. I was bawling my eyes out like a damn baby. It was terrible. I was trying to be quiet too because we were all watching together, and you know I didn't want to be loud and everything. But like, oh my god, it was really hard. It was hard to watch. It got me. It hurt. It destroyed me a little bit. But that's okay, because, you know, this is what we fight against. This is the kind of crap that we fight against. And we're going to make this happen. We're going to make them go away. Oh, hey, JWS. She says, I won't watch, has not seen the film yet. Okay, sorry. Well, I'm glad that you at least know not to watch it. I did put in the spoilers. So, and I did check. I made sure to look on the page to see if it says spoilers in the title, and it does, so it's good. It's all good.
Anyway. I definitely feel for Marlene. I mean, agree with what Marlene was saying.
Oh, about what?
Oh, about the mom. Just like.
Oh yeah, she's all like, she's already like been through a lot and stuff, and that she's just like super devoted and whatever.
Yeah, they're just all victims for it.
In a way, yeah.
And then Alex, like she just never even.
In a way, they are all victims. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I think there's a line, like, sometimes people are presented with evidence, right? And they just don't want to see it. I don't know. It's hard for me to distinguish whether that person is being willfully ignorant or if they're just like super duper brainwashed. It's so hard.
Yeah, it's really hard to know.
What kind of a human being would hear about children being hurt though and be like, well, you know, that happens in every organization. It's okay. It's like it's just hard for me to.
I've had people say that though.
I know, but it's hard for me to deal with. Oh my god, it's so hard to swallow. Like listening to people say that to me. That's like the worst. Anyway, Marlene has another comment. She says the mom has to live with herself and the loss of her two daughters because she told her elder daughter, you have to earn his love. Yeah, actually, I was thinking about that in the end, seeing the mom at the cart. It reminded me of my grandma and how my grandma is probably only still in the cult because she killed her own kid basically for it. So,
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's probably why my grandma is in the cult still. I mean, why that lady is still in the cult. She killed her kid too.
Yeah, that's why it reminded me very much. I'm just like, wow, that's exactly. And they covered so many common.
Thankfully, they did manage to cover all the stuff that's usually not as well covered, but they didn't really cover the child abuse, which is weird. But I guess that's because maybe the child abuse is covered a lot. I don't know.
It is, yeah. I think that it was good what they chose to go with.
No, they did a great job. The movie was fantastic. It was depressing as all hell.
Yeah.
But it it hit everything. I think it did a great job as far as accuracy too. I mean, it wasn't completely inaccurate. There were parts of it that I was like, but for the most part, it was pretty accurate.
Yeah, I thought it was very accurate.
I guess Rick died for real this time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think we lost Rick, but it didn't seem like it was over the top. Like it was very, despite all the things that they included, like and touched on in the movie.
Yeah,
it seemed realistic, and especially to me because this stuff does happen and it can get that unbelievably.
Hey, it's Rick again. He's alive. Oh, hey, Professor, would you like to hop on, Professor? You're welcome to jump on if you'd like. Even if it's just for a few seconds. I can throw you the link. Or even Marlene. Marlene, if you want to come on, you can jump on real quick. We're probably not going to be on for like a super long time, but if you have something quick you want to say, I can throw you all the link. Let me see here. Oh, Marlene says the scene where the young elder asks Alex's mom about marriage and resurrection and says, "We don't know." That's very telling.
Unfortunately, you cut out a bit there for me.
Oh, I did? I'm sorry. I can repeat myself. The scene where the young elder asks Alex's mom about marriage and resurrection and says, "We don't know." That's very telling.
Yeah, because that's something that keeps a lot of people going, is that they're gonna, meet up again in.
Yeah.
And it's an area where the watchtower is quite cruel. It's gone back and forward on it. Said, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know how like there's a lot of gray area in life, like regular, that's their gray area. Like it keeps them motivated, keeps them interested.
Yeah.
Like what is the new system actually going to be like? We don't know everything.
I mean, I don't want to get too Bible-y here, but there's a passage in
Bible-y. I'm going to throw up. Hold on.
I'm just going to do a little bit of Bible, okay? It's just a little bit. There's a passage in the Gospels where I think it's the Sadducees come up to Jesus and say, this man, he marries this woman and she dies, and then he meets another woman and they get on well, and he marries her, and so on and so forth, and he marries all these women. In the resurrection, who would... And then Jesus answers, a spirit doesn't have a wife, sort of thing.
Oh, Marlene goes on to clarify her comment. Because the young elder doubts whether marriage can be in paradise because he just lost his fiancée. Okay. Sorry.
Till death do us part, isn't it? So. So I don't know. But they did.
I was wondering like what his motivations were for asking in the first place.
Because he was disappointed that he didn't get to marry his chick.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
No, I meant. Yeah.
I mean, that's probably it, right?
I don't know. He rushed out to the car when Liana, right? Or I mean, I
who?
thought that was interesting. The guy that was going to marry her sister. Then he rushes out to the car afterwards. When she decides she's just going to leave the judicial hearing or whatever they're doing.
Mean Louisa,
yeah. God, why is that name so difficult to remember?
I don't know. I think Rick died again.
Oh God.
We've got Gloria Young. Hello, everyone, and Marlene Garza again. Let's see here. Hey, Marlene, you want to come into the hangout? You can. The mom said maybe there won't be marriage in paradise.
Oh yeah, she did say that.
Yeah. although wasn't that alluded to in a very old text that possibly there wouldn't be marriage, everybody would be like genderless or whatever. Not genderless, maybe everybody would be male. I can't remember what it was. Either male or genderless. Either way.
Yeah. I don't know. I just remember. I do know I've heard that before. I've heard people be like, "Well, we don't know. Maybe we won't even get married in paradise." I mean, speculating on those types of things is like how, like, a lot of the times how they like rationalize certain things that they do.
Right.
Well, we don't know. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Wow. So overall, what did you think of the movie, and would you recommend it to people? And especially, who would you recommend it to, and who would you tell not to watch? That's a lot of questions.
Gosh, I don't know. I recommend it to everybody. I mean, I was thinking like, because some of the people I work with, they know, and so I would like, especially if I've talked to anybody about this type of stuff before, I would suggest that they watch it.
Yeah.
But like, especially if you've been in, because it is a very, I mean, prepare to cry, but it is a very moving and like experience watching this thing, the struggles of this family dealing with such an authoritarian, culty life, where the Jehovah's Witnesses are always the women.
That sucks.
And that's them.
Being in a cult is terrible. Well, it is. It is. Would I recommend it to anybody? Just anybody? I would.
Right.
I would recommend it to just anybody. I think it's a good little peek into the JW world for pretty much anybody. Even a peek back into the JW world for people who have lived in it and are out now.
Yeah.
I would probably give caution to people that have lost people from the blood doctrine, just because it can be a bit triggering. And maybe people that have gone through the struggle of being a young parent. Maybe if that's something that's triggering for you, consider that. But other than that, I think it's a fantastic movie. I think they did a great job. It had minimal mistakes as far as accuracy goes. The acting was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I didn't find it to be, cheesy or campy or anything like that. It was great.
Yeah.
I can just imagine the Bethelites getting hold of that film and going, "You see what you can get with some decent acting." I mean, have you seen the acting style of the people on the Watchtower things? It's atrocious.
Yeah.
They should be using that in their training school, shouldn't they? Look what these filthy apostates can make. These guys are naturalistic as hell.
Yeah. They've got so many things out there. They've got a lot of media that people see, and yeah, all of it's garbage.
It's terrible acting. All of it. It's just so wooden, and If I was the theatrical, so I'd have about half by now.
Yeah.
That's someone's job, isn't it? Head of theatre or something at Watchtower. Head of drama. Hello, darlings. Oh, here comes Brother Smythe. And he's got a mustache, but he's always been a bachelor, and all the ladies love him.
My God, Rick, you're killing me.
We still don't know why he didn't marry. That Gilead sister loved him. He said drama was his first and only love. Imagine having that detail, Jesus.
My God, why?
That kind of acting talent with bloody hell.
They take it so seriously too. Like this is their maybe art, but this is what this is a special assignment from Jehovah.
Yeah.
We need to take it seriously, brothers, sisters.
What? Take it seriously.
Yeah,
Look.
so they're acting as part of their sacred service. That's what they're
over or whatever.
Sacred service.
Oh my goodness.
If your job at Bethel is to massage, the governing body's feet once a week, that's a sacred service to God. Because you're helping Jehovah's organization. So whatever menial, horrible task you're doing, it's all worship apparently, which is nice. So that's how they're selling this shit. So letting your child die for want of a blood transfusion is sacred service. Sneaking literature into bags where the parent has declined the need for it is sacred service. All of this stuff, all of these horrific treatments of human beings are sacred service to God. Hey, Marlene.
Hi.
Hey, it's Marlene.
Hi.
Hey,
How's
sweetie.
everyone?
How are you doing?
All right.
Got the
It's been a
modem
minute since I've seen you.
I forgot how to do these.
How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of like the live chat and what's going on, and I'm not very good either.
Thankfully, I have like 2 computers for that, so it's all good.
Okay. Did anybody hear an echo? And is the echo gone?
Balls.
First, I
Okay,
did
the
it.
echo's gone. It's gone.
Okay.
Hope I didn't
good.
offend anybody. I'm sorry if I offended you.
What'd you say? I didn't hear.
Oh, I said balls.
Oh,
Apparently that
balls.
offends people sometimes.
No offense.
I'm sorry if you can't. If that offends you, then I'm sorry. I really am. I didn't mean to offend you.
You should just use the word bollocks like me.
Okay, I should no. I should say spheres.
Spheres of profundity.
That's less rude, isn't it? Spheres.
Spheres. Orbs.
Orbs of something.
Hey, I wanted to say something about that film.
Yeah, go for it, Marlene.
Well, I had so many thoughts. The second time I watched it, I sat with my 31-year-old brother. And we were watching it, and he faded. Actually, no, he was disfellowshipped years ago. But he never really even had it in his, he was never really into it. Not really. The thing was, he's watching it, he relates, but I could tell there was a different intensity, with me and everything that I had become an elder's wife at the point, so it was really, there were so many things about, oh, you're going to go to circuit work, or if you be a Bethelite, or that kind of stuff. So my brother was kind of watching it a little more casually, but the scene where the elder, I forgot his name, elder somebody, how he's completely, the older bald guy, he's just completely, has no sensitivity whatsoever. He's before we even know what's going to happen in the next scene and we discover the tragedy with Alex, we just see his face and he's talking to the mom and he says, he's holding something, right? He's like,